hey, everybody. I'm going to get the better audio going in just a second. Oh, and there's already somebody on call. Awesome, cool. Well, give me just 1 second. I'm going to get the audio much improved, I hope. Shoot me in the comments to see if, let me know if the audio is okay. I'm going to be touching my iPad a little bit, especially because I do this one, this is all one person, right? So, yeah, we're going to have some fun with this. I'm trying some new features, as you will notice my logo in the corner, and we're going to try something cool. Oh, thank you. And I'm going to put this up here, and I'm not going to get fancy with the wire tonight. You know what? Normally I tuck it all in and whatnot, but nope. We're going to keep this nice and we're freewheeling it tonight. So tonight's topic. Oh, scratchy. Is it? Oh, hold on. Is it better if I put it down there? A little too loud, maybe? Better? All right. So tonight, like I said, I'm trying to do some fun stuff. Tonight, our topic is video connections and formats. So we're going to jump into that. I would have gone back outside, but it looks like it's going to pour. So I figured that was best maybe left not. I figured that was best left that I don't want to get the equipment soaked. That would be a very expensive proposition and all of that. Now, for those of you tuning in, awesome. Please go ahead and shoot your questions into the chat. If, however, you decide that you want to go a different route, I will be posting my email at the end of the video so that you guys can send them to me by email if you'd like, or heck, comment on any of the channels, and I will be happy. Well, hello again. Good to see you, Robin. I'm always open to questions, whether they're on topic or not. You notice that I actually got the topic in the corner. So video connections and formats, because yesterday we were talking about resolution. So we're going to talk about resolution, and we're going to go even further. So I hope you guys like this format, and yeah, let's jump in. So once upon a time, actually, you know what? I wanted to avoid going off camera, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because there's something I want to show you guys that's kind of neat. I'm going to borrow a notebook here. All right. Not my notebook. However, I want to show you guys this port over here. When we talk about computers, there's this port over here. This is the old style. Like, this is back from 25, 30 years ago, 30 years, a little over 30 years ago, actually, that we started using this port. Actually, about 25 years that we started using this port. You'll notice it's blue, and it's got three rows of 5 pins. And that one is called VGA. Now, why VGA? It actually stands for Video Gate Array, and I bring it up because it's by far the kind of oldest going standard of video on computers. A lot of TVs still have a VGA port in the back, so it's not uncommon to see these things on older computers, and even current computers can have them. So it really is not uncommon to see these things. So it kind of neat. The cables for VGA, you can get extenders, but they're almost always male to male. So that's why you'll see kind of with a blue end, and you screw them in so that they can't come loose and all of that. And monitors used that for a long time. And then there was this intermediary one called DVI. Now, the one thing that I have to mention on VGA was VGA is an analog. It's not a pure digital signal. So what happens when you use VGA is the computer can put out the signal, the monitor can receive it, but they don't know what the other one is doing. Like with digital formats, you can get a little, first of all, you can get more precise, you can get better resolution, which we talked about yesterday, so that's always good to know. So you can get good resolution. The other catch with VGA is that with HDMI or any of the newer formats that we're going to be talking about, you can actually tell it, hey, if the computer turns off, turn the monitor off with it. VGA couldn't do that. VGA kind of had to passively look and go, hey, is there a signal? Is there a signal? Is there a signal? Is there... I'm going to shut off. And it would. So it was kind of odd that way. Thankfully, we evolved. And we went up to DVI. Do I have an example of DVI? I don't have a quick example of DVI. I thought I had one handy, but anyway, that's fine. DVI. But DVI is mostly irrelevant. DVI, however, was the first digital video interface. And there are two grades. There's regular DVI, and then there's, I've actually forgotten what they call it. Anyway. It's another form of DVI. It has more pins, and it just offers higher resolution, but it doesn't offer sound. And DVI gave way to the current standard, the bar none, the current standard. And we were talking about resolution and TVs and all of that yesterday, and high definition TVs and the standardization of that gave rise to this guy, HDMI. By far, the most recognizable format going. You'll notice that it's tapered on one end, right? It's very much tapered. And that is how almost everything hooks up nowadays. Whether it's your video game systems, whether it's your DVD player, whether it's your Blu-ray player, whether it's your computer monitor, everything. And if you guys remember back to my episode on USB, USB 1, USB 2, well, it offered a little bit better transfer, but otherwise nothing really changed. You know, they look the same. And then HDMI kind of had the same thing. There was HDMI 1, 1.1, 1.2. 1.2 is the minimum standard that we know nowadays. That you can't really buy anything less than 1.2. 1.4 is the big step up. They tried to make it so that the cable can take, because everything HDMI from HDMI 1 up, it could take not only the same amount of video data as DVI, so it could transfer that video data very smoothly, very fast, but it can also take audio, which is why we like it. And then everything switched to it, so you didn't have like, hey, I've got wait, I've got connectors. I've got yellow connector, and I've got a white connector, and I've got a red connector, and or wait, this one is wait, I need the yellow connector, and then there's this other one with all these little pins, and we don't even talk about that anymore. That's gone. You see a big grin on my face, right? Because it's gone. We've gotten rid of that terrible formats, and we've gotten a lot better video for it. So yes, HDMI, huge standard, and HDMI can convert. There is, and I'm sorry to be the reporter of this, there is HDMI mini, HDMI micro, but those are so rare that the average person will never see them. They are typically only to connect cameras like a DSLR, like with the lens and everything, the photographer's cameras, click, those types, to a monitor for soft proofing and stuff like that while you're shooting, or video cameras. It's very, very rare that you'll see those. What is the difference with the gold USB end connectors for printers? Oh, gold supposedly, and applies to HDMI too. Gold supposedly is a better metal for conductivity, and it's supposed to offer a higher fidelity signal, which is absolutely fine. Most printers will not appreciate it. Gold connectors are really good if you're using something that is very, very high speed. So with the newer stuff, USB-C will favor gold connectors. Even if it doesn't look like it, the end doesn't have to be connected, but the pins inside have to be gold, or should be as close. The more conductive the metal, the better it goes through the cable. But it's honestly, a lot of it is a marketing ploy, so you really kind of want to watch out for that, because When it's just like, oh yeah, we put gold plating, yay! Well, yeah, what does it really do for me? It doesn't really do that much unless you're doing a really, really big television or something where you're really, really going to see these fine nuances. Gold plating on USB cables only really works if the cable is really, really, really long. Because if it's really, really, really long, you can get signal degradation in the end, and you want to make sure that it's not in the pins. So that's a cool trick to know about. So again, I refer back to USB a lot because you notice that these video formats and USB followed each other. They really did. They became very standardized. Tech is, thankfully, due to people like you and I going to the companies and saying, I don't want to buy your special cable, your special connector, your special, I don't care about your special anything. I want to be able to go out and buy a cable. Done. And it's taking root. It's good. So I brought up USB-C again, or I brought up USB again because another video format that is becoming increasingly popular, because I mentioned when I mentioned USB-C back a few days, is that it takes a lot of data. In fact, it can take video data. So I have a very fancy cable here, and that is USB. Oh, gotta go this way. USB-C. So just like we showed on the first day, right? And this can be plugged in this way or this way, unlike HDMI. HDMI only goes in one way. So we can do that. Now, hold on. I got you. What about my phone? Yes, if your phone has USB-C, chances are very good that you can go out from USB-C and you can convert USB-C into standard HDMI, because there are a lot of cables out there to go from USB-C to HDMI. And yes, it will work. You can plug your phone to your TV and watch a movie on your TV from a small phone. What about us iPhone people? No problem. Got you covered. You guys all recognize the lightning connector, right? And I'm going to put this a little closer. You see the gold pins. Again, this can be plugged in one way or the other. And you'll notice at the other end, I've got this huge box. And this box has an HDMI. That's right. This is the lightning port. So you can charge the phone while you're using the video output. And this one here, which is the HDMI female. So we can plug a standard HDMI cable and then plug this other end to a television or projector or anything you want, and your iPhone can display on those units. In fact, there are some people who travel internationally who love to use their phone on hotel TV or whatever have you, and it becomes very easy to do that. So that's kind of neat. So now then, yes, VGA gave way to DVI for computers, right? Televisions used to have the RCA, so the yellow, red, blue, or the yellow, white, red. So the red and white were audio, and the yellow was video. And then that gave way to, really kind of gave way to HDMI pretty quickly. There were other ways. Now I know there's the cable that you screw in. That hasn't changed much. But now that goes to a box, and the box goes HDMI to your television. So everything has really kind of come full circle to HDMI. So that's really important. I'm going to have to figure out how to flip the video so that I'm not mirrored, because I keep trying to go. You get it. So a little distracting. So I'm sorry if that shows. But yeah. So those are my questions on those. That's my little. Oh yeah. Oh, we hooked the iPad to the smartboard that way. I love that you mentioned that. For those of you who for those of you who are teachers, they don't just use televisions in classrooms. They use these big smart boards, so these great big screens, and they're actually very impressive. A lot of technology in them, and indeed they do use these connectors to connect the iPads that are Lightning to those. What about what about those those devices that are USB-C? Yes, you can get cables that go USB, and I know I mentioned it before. There are a few different kind of docks you can get even. I have one for my iPad. You know, give me just 1 second. I'm going to see if I can just kind of grab it real quick. But we use these docks because they are highly practical. And it is very, very easy to connect a few devices, especially for those who have computers. Anyway, I'm going to show you 2 docks, actually. Thank you for your patience. Sorry. Okay. Now then, for my new computer, at least, is USB-C. Otherwise, I had a MacBook Air that had another type of way to go to HDMI, which was cool. This is a dock for my new computer, which has 2 USB-C ports, and that goes to a whole bunch of ports. But you'll notice at the top is that lovely HDMI female that we've been talking about. So it is nice to know that. And when I talk about the iPad, I have this one, which is USB-C on one side, and then when you flip it over, you'll see that I have my HDMI, a USB-A, and you'll notice it's blue. Do you guys remember what blue means? Anyone remember from episode 1? Blue? Blue means it's 3.0. And so that, and then I have another USB. This is so that you can charge it, because you want to be able to charge the iPad or the device while you're using the video output. And then you can plug headphones or speakers into that. So that's a great way to watch movies, and great little device. Not very expensive, especially not when you consider the price of a lot of technology. So that's HDMI. And then of course I have, just to show that I have 2 USB-C ports, one for charging, one for actual devices. I have 2 USB-A ports, female, and then I've got my card readers over here. So that's always good to know. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Do you have any questions? Because, you know, I'd love to see more questions in the comments and so on. I've been on for about 18 minutes now. Not bad. If you guys have any questions, it doesn't have to be on my topic. It really doesn't. I love, you know, answering all kinds of questions on anything technology, even if it's just kind of about how can I hook this up to that, or the mentality. I'm really getting into the mindset about technology. So I'm working on something for that. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'd love to see y'all there. There were quite a few of you. Oh, what was the name again of the smaller attachment with the USB-C? Are you referring, Kirsten, to this one with the HDMI, or because that is USB-C, and I can plug into any USB-C device, and then you can charge it from the bottom on this one, headphones and HDMI. We refer to these as docks. You can refer to them as adapters, but because they're multi-adapters, we tend to refer to them as docks. It's kind of a very industry standard nomenclature for that kind of for these kinds of things. So just so you know that, and they are generally available at any really, you know, half decent electronic retailer should have docks for at least for the products they carry, and that should definitely help. I hope that answered all the questions on video, and aside from just, I mean, that was just connectors, really. It's amazing kind of how much we can get into that. I suppose, it's the other one dock as well. Yes, they are both docks. Kirsten asking if both of these are docks. By standard nomenclature, yes, these are both docks. Just because it used to be that you would have this hooked up at home, you would have this hooked up to a monitor, you'd have a printer plugged in, you'd have a whole bunch of stuff plugged in, and that way when you got home, you would dock your computer to it, And then all of a sudden it would be like, I don't need to fidget and fool around with all of these cables. I can really just kind of go home, pop it in, and it's charging and everything's good, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's why we would dock our units. But these things are just so portable now that you kind of almost just carry them for the sake of carrying them, and because it's nice to have everything all in one. So there is that. So great questions, guys. Thank you. Thank you a lot for jumping in with those. I really appreciate it. Yeah. I'm not going to keep droning on. I will talk about video formats sometime in the future. I'm kind of honestly holding off on that because I worry I'm going to get a little too technical. So I need to kind of pull that back a bit and be careful about that. So I really want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Topic to be determined. If you guys have any suggestions, the email's right there. Toss it in the comments. I'd love to see more from you guys. And thank you and good night. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.